A lot of people just kind of like shove this carpet.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am so excited because I am going to be ranking my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes. Ooh, so excited. I'm not too sure who started this trend off. I'll find out and leave them down below, like their channel and the video, that kind of thing. But I first watched Paige, Koren I think her name is. Again, I will link her YouTube channel down below. I first saw her video ranking her ABH palettes and I was like, oh, I really need to do mine. So I'm going to start off like a little series ranking like certain brands palettes. So for instance, today I'm doing ABH. I will also be doing Jeffree Star, Morphe, maybe Huda Beauty, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you do want to see them videos, then please just leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know which ones you want to see from me. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight on into it. Okay, so I have 13 palettes in total. Wow, 13 palettes. 13 ABH palettes. I'm just gonna say, like, you don't need all these palettes. I did purchase them all with my own money, but I'm gonna be very honest in my video today and my opinion. Again, just a little disclosure, if there's a palette that isn't my highest ranked and is like towards the end of the ranking, that doesn't mean that it's a bad palette at all. And yeah, please don't take offense to it, because if it's your favorite palette, that is great. I do love all of these palettes, but yeah, please don't think anything of it. Everyone has their own favorite palettes, everyone's different. So yeah, so let's start off with my 13th palette. This is my last palette, not least favorite. I can't say that because I love this palette, but it's just my least favorite out of the ABH palettes, and it is the Norvina palette. It's such a shame. I do really like this palette. The reason why it is my 13, why it's number 13, is literally just because of the mattes. I just feel like the mattes in here don't do it for me. Like, they're just a bit like, I just kind of look at the mattes and I think like, it makes me not want to use it. And whenever I do use this palette, I feel like I just reach into other palettes for the mattes. But saying that, the shimmers in here are amazing. I also just want to say that the mattes are incredible. Like, they blend beautifully, the formula is amazing, but it's just the colour scheme of the mattes, if that makes sense. They just aren't my favourite. When it comes to the shimmers, these are gorgeous. Let me swatch a couple. So like, they're just stunning. And it makes me want to pick up this palette and use it, because I haven't used it properly, like, since I've got it. Like, I've used it, but I've not used the whole palette, if that makes sense. I've dipped into other palettes to get the looks that I want. But like the swatches, oh, look at them. So the top one I swatched is Wild Child, then I swatched Celestial, and then I swatched Summer. The shimmers are gorgeous, but again, for me, it's just the colours of the mattes in this palette that just make me not want to use it. But it is a gorgeous palette. If you love the colour scheme of the palette, I highly recommend it because it is stunning. So yeah, that's my 13th favourite palette. In 12th place, we have the Sultry palette. Can we talk about the packaging? Oh, it is beyond gorgeous. It is stunning. The palette, like, oh, it's just gorgeous. However, this palette for me, I'm not really a cool toned lover, so that's the reason why this one is like a 12, which is so sad. Again, the shimmers in here are gorgeous, but I just tend not to reach for it because it is quite cool toned, to be honest with you. But other than that, it's amazing. I do have a bit of a problem with some of like the mattes, like the brownie mattes, like Twig and Dystopian. I feel like when I've used them multiple times and they just kind of go a little bit muddy on me. I'm not too sure if that's just because they're cool tones or something, but yeah, it's not my favourite. But this palette is beyond beautiful, and again, the shimmers in here, let me swatch a couple. The shimmers in here are stunning. stunning. I've used this a couple of times for like my New Year's Eve looks, and I've always loved the look that I've come out with. But yeah, pearl, cyborg, and then steampunk at the bottom. So yeah, the shimmers again in here are incredible. Like ABH's shimmers are just like amazing. But yeah, I do like the palette, but again it's just quite cool toned, and I'm not really a cool tone lover, but if you are into cool tones then definitely pick this up. Okay, for my 11th palette, this is gonna be, I feel like this palette is very controversial. It is the Subculture palette. I got this when it very first released, and I have to say I was kind of scared. Like I was, after hearing everyone's opinions, I was quite scared to use this palette, because I was like, I started using it and I was like, I don't know whether it was because I'd heard everyone's opinions and they were like, oh, it's patchy, it's this, it's that, and I was like, ugh. And then it started to be patchy on me and I was like, oh my god, no. But then I started using it again last year, and I actually created a really cute fall look, and I actually loved it. The mattes in here they are gorgeous. I do feel like they do need a bit more work than the normal ABH formula, but other than that, like, I'm not mad at the palette. I think it's a gorgeous colour scheme. The only problem that I really have with this palette is the shimmers. I'm literally talking about the electric one and then the cube shade here. Like these, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether I need to like scratch the top layer off, but it's like I am like trying to dig into this, and that is literally all I'm getting. I don't know whether I need to scratch it off properly or something, but the shimmers aren't that great. But I do love the mattes, and I do love the colour scheme. I love the colour scheme, but I just tend not to reach for this, and that is why it's the 11th, because I'm the type of person that'll look at a palette and be like, this is a fall palette, because to me it is. But I know that you can't look at makeup that way, but it's just sometimes I kind of look at this and I just think, oh, this is such a fall palette, which is probably why I don't use it enough, because I do see myself using it more in autumn, winter. But I need to pull this out some more and play with it some more, because I do really like the colour scheme, but I just don't use it, which is why it's 11th. So yeah. The palette in 10th place, which I have chosen, is the Modern Renaissance palette. There's nothing wrong with this palette, I do have to say. This was an amazing launch that they had for this palette. You know, it came out and it was like everyone's favourite warm tone palette, and I was here for it, I really was. But to me, I just don't kind of reach for these tones. Even though they're gorgeous, I don't see this palette as an everyday palette for myself, which is why it is 10th, but it is gorgeous. The mattes are gorgeous. The shimmers in this palette, they aren't as pigmented as like a few of their other palettes, if that can make sense. Let me swatch them. They are stunning, but they're very more like everyday appropriate, and you know, like just a slight shimmer on the lid for like work, or you know, just like everyday. Whereas I love a shimmer that packs a punch. I love like a foiled metallic, like shiny shimmer. I love that, but these just aren't it for me. But other than that, the mattes are incredible. The colour story is gorgeous. I do need to play with this more because I think it's stunning, but these aren't the kind of tones I reach for or would reach for on a daily basis. But other than that, gorgeous palette, love it, obsessed. Still recommend it to this day. I've had mine for years. Okay, the palette in 9th place is a palette that I don't even think I've heard that many people talk about or anything. Like, it's such a gorgeous palette, but I don't hear anyone like speak about it. And it is the Alyssa Edwards palette. So I'm gonna hold it in my eye because the mirror. Yeah, this is such a beautiful palette, and I don't hear anyone, like, I don't see anyone post about this palette. I think it's still in stock, But this palette is amazing. It is like the first proper bright colourful palette that ABH came out with last year, so the 2019, and it is gorgeous. The reason why this is 9th place is because I just don't feel like, I kind of forget about it almost, which I don't really know why, but I think it's because I just don't see anyone like posting looks with it or talking about it or anything like that. I feel like people shoved this palette underneath the rug and it just kind of got lost almost. When I was talking about this in my palette collection video, which again I'll leave that video down below, but when I was talking about this in that video, I was like, there was a couple of palettes that just got lost because they were pumping out palettes like there was no tomorrow. I feel like this was definitely one of them, which is such a shame because this is a gorgeous palette and I should reach for it because I love my bright colours. I think you can create multiple looks with this palette. I have created a couple of looks with it when it first came out and I was obsessed. They blend like a dream. They are amazing. The only thing I would say is I wish there was, I don't know, maybe one more shimmer, because there's only 3 shimmers in this palette and I just wish there was another one, but I don't know what one I would want. I just want another one. But other than that, the shades are stunning. Let me swatch a couple. Like literally, they are so pigmented. Definitely need to play with this palette some more because it is gorgeous. But again, I just feel like it just got lost in all the other palettes that they were bringing out, which is such a shame. So I swatched the blue, which is called Dream It, then I swatched Brick Road in the middle, and then I swatched Inspire. See, like, them shades are gorgeous. It's stunning. It's stunning. I do need to play with some more, and also I love the packaging. The packaging is so flipping cute. Look at that. The 8th palette that I have to show you guys today is the Jackie Aina palette. The reason why this is 8th, nothing to do with her as a person. By the way, guys, I don't really watch her, to be honest with you. That's just my personal preference. The reason why I don't reach for this palette that much is because, again, at the time when they when this first came out, they had the Alyssa Edwards palette, then they came out with this palette, and then they came out with the Carli Bybel palette, and then they came out with the Amrezy palette, and it was just like palette after palette after palette after palette. It was just too much. And then they also had the Norvina palettes that came out, so it was like, oh. But the reason why this is 8, because I need to use it more. I actually need to use it more because the colour story is stunning. It's actually bloody gorgeous. I kind of forget about it almost. Again, I think because there's so many palettes that could just come out which like you just kind of forget about it. And again, I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this palette, to be honest, which is a shame because this colour story is gorgeous. The thing for me as well is that I would feel like I'd need another palette to go with this one because of the dark mattes. I would definitely need like another palette that has like lighter transition shades, that kind of thing, to work with this palette. But other than that, the shades are gorgeous. But yeah, when I think about these palettes, I think that I need to just have everything in this palette that I can use. Like, I don't want to have to reach into other palettes, which I don't know why, because I do tend to reach for sometimes 2 different palettes, sometimes 2 or 3 different palettes, but I think it just depends. But yeah, I really need to use this some more. The formula is gorgeous. I've created a couple of looks with it. Formula is amazing. The shimmers are gorgeous. Again, let me swatch a couple. The first one is Dallas, the second one is Sponsored, and then this bottom one here is called Zam. I think that's how you say it. I'm not too sure. I'm just going with it. But yeah, definitely need to get some more use out of this because it is gorgeous. The only thing I don't really like is the packaging. The packaging's not my favourite, but I do like the feel of it. The 7th palette that I have to talk about today is quite a new palette, I would say. It came out like late last year. This is the Carli Bybel palette. I love this palette. I adore it. I just think the shades in here, I don't know what they do. They make me feel some sort of way, and I'm literally living. What I really like about this palette, again, I don't think this palette is going to work for everyone. I'm just going to say, if you are of a deeper complexion, you might need a deeper kind of shade, like a matte shade for this palette. But other than that, I think you can definitely work with the shimmers. Some gorgeous shades in here. I love how this palette has a cool toned row and then a warm toned row. I think that is actually gorgeous. Like, it's stunning. I am living. So I actually love this palette. I love it. I love it. I haven't used it that much, again, because late last year it came out. Everything else was coming out at the same time. I've used it a couple of times and I'm obsessed. I still need to use it some more. I don't think you'll be able to get that many looks out of it, if I'm very honest. But you can still create quite a few looks, and the shades in here are stunning. Like the shimmers. Let me swatch some of the shimmers, because I was literally swatching these last night and I was like, oh. Like, I was literally like dying. I'm living. I think she created a really gorgeous palette, to be honest. So the top one that I swatched is Mandela. Then I swatched Moo, and then Aura. There's some gorgeous shades there. Again, the shimmers are amazing. The mattes are stunning. Again, with the cool tone row, there's not a lot of mattes. There's only like 2 up top. But then you've also got these ones here. So yeah, I don't know. The shimmers probably draw me more to this palette than the mattes. But I still like the palette overall anyway. So, yeah. The 6th palette is my Norvina Volume 2 palette. Look how big this is. It's so big. So if you've not seen what this looks like, this is Volume 2. She came out with obviously 3 last year, like late last year altogether. These are the most expensive palettes that ABH have. They are crazy. They are crazy. Try not to get the mirror on camera. Ooh, look at that. The reason why this one is sick is because I do use this. I use it quite a bit, but it's just not my favourite. It's, out of all my ABH palettes, it is not my favourite, but I still love it. I still think this palette is gorgeous. If you're into your blue, greeny kind of colours, you'll love this. But it is expensive, so that's the only thing I have to say about it. If I could only get one of these, I wouldn't have chosen this one, but I still think it's a great palette. Love how many mattes there are. There's not as many shimmers in these palettes, but I feel like mattes are more important than shimmers, to be honest. I feel like you need more matte shades for your crease to blend out, that kind of thing, than you do shimmers. But the shades that are in here are gorgeous. It's just the formula, the colour story, it's just it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I also love how there's pops of colour in here, like the pink, the orange and the yellow. I feel like that would be such a cool look to kind of do. And when you first look at this palette, you wouldn't think to kind of put them shades together. You'd be probably looking more at the bluey greeny kind of colours. But yeah, you can create some gorgeous creative looks out of this. If you're quite a creative person and you love creating loads of different coloured looks, this is gonna be amazing for you. Trust me, trust me. The 5th palette, we're going to my top 5 palettes now. The 5th one is my ABH Norvina 1 palette. This is the first one that came out. I wasn't expecting a 2 and a 3, but when this first like launched, I was like, these shades. Again, the Norvina palettes, the big pro ones, their colour stories are phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love this one. I do love it. I reach for it quite a bit. Everything about this palette is stunning. It does include a black. It's got some neutrals in here, which I really like. It's got lots of pinky purple shades, a couple of like red shades, oranges, yellows. You got loads of shimmers in here. The shimmers are gorgeous. You got this random blue shade. This is a gorgeous palette. The formula, amazing. So stunning. But again, The colour story, I just prefer other colour stories a little bit more, but this is a phenomenal. It's actually phenomenal, and I highly recommend it if you were thinking about getting one and this colour story is up your alley. I do recommend it. The fourth palette that I have chosen is the Riviera palette. When this palette first came out last year, like when it was first shown, I was like, I need this palette. I need it. It is gorgeous. It is like summertime in a palette. I loved it. I've created so many looks with this. It is just beautiful. The colour story is just phenomenal. I have literally made a dent in a couple of these shades because I've used them so much. I just love the colour story. I think the colour story for me is amazing. I have taken this with me travelling. I can use it out of the whole palette. I can create a neutral look, use like the Inheritance or Yacht shade all over the lid for like a more of like a neutral everyday kind of look. I mean, I don't usually do a lot of neutral everyday looks because I've got stars on my eyes today, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I just love this palette. I've used it so many times. The shimmers, the mattes, oh, it's phenomenal. I literally created so many looks with this palette and I want to use it more because I still don't feel like I've got enough looks out of it yet. I just love it. Let me swatch a couple of shades. I have actually made a bit of a dent in Inheritance. Like, it's stunning. Oh, look at this. What? Can we? The shimmers, the mattes, everything just blends like an absolute dream, to be honest with you. Definitely one of my favourite palettes, which is why it's fourth. So up top I've swatched Bahamas, then I've swatched Seashells, and then Inheritance. I love it. I highly recommend this palette. I love it. Moving on to the top three now. So in third place I have the Norvina Volume 3 palette. So stunning. Oh my god. Oof. This is gorgeous. My mirror is a little bit broken on mine. But yeah, this is the palette. Oh, can we just... This colour story really leads me in. I just love it. Again, with these palettes, the mattes blend beautifully. They're so pigmented. They are just phenomenal. And these shimmers are amazing too. I love the shimmers, but the mattes really get me in these. I feel like the mattes are like the star of the show. The shimmers are still gorgeous. I just prefer the shimmers in the smaller palettes. I feel like, especially with like the Carli Bybel shimmers and the Norvina palette shimmers, like they just blow me away. But the mattes in here are incredible. I'm obsessed. The reason why this is number 3 is because I do use this quite a bit. Whenever I look at it, it just makes me happy. It just takes me to a better place. But yeah, I just love the colour story. It's very like warm toned. I love the pops of green. It's just very warm toned. It's just very inviting to me. It makes me want to use it. I get inspired when I look at this palette. So yeah, that is why it's number 3. Plus I do reach for it quite a bit. And I just love, every time I've used this palette, I've loved the looks that I create with it. So yeah, number 3, again, is expensive. I would say if you're going to get one of the Norvina Pro palettes, definitely consider which one you're going to use more, which colour story like makes you feel most inspired and makes you want to use it the most. And yeah, because they are expensive, but they are worth it, I have to say. So the palette that I have ranked second is the Amrezy palette. Oh, it's gorgeous. Everything to the packaging is like stunning. The reason why this is second is just because I love these shades in here. I think the shades are gorgeous. This would be number 1, it really would, but I just haven't used it enough for me to be like, love it, it's my number 1. Do you know what I mean? So that's the reason why it's number 2. But oh my god, the shades in here are stunning. This obviously came out this year, like I think it was January. Yeah, I think it was January. I totally had a blank then. This palette is stunning. The shades are gorgeous. I love just the layout and everything. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers, there's also 2 pressed glitters in here which I haven't actually used yet, which again is why I can't put it at number 1, but the colour story is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. The first shade that I've swatched is Leo, the middle one is Barb, and then the last one is Cupcake. So the shades are just like stunning, stunning. The only thing that I've had an issue with in this palette is the black. I've tried to use it a couple of times and it's just been a bit patchy. I don't know whether it's just the way that I'm trying to blend it or something, but yeah, this palette is bloody gorgeous. It's bloody gorgeous. It wouldn't be number 1, but I just haven't used it enough for me to be like, it's my holy grail, it's my favourite. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to think about this in like a way that I use them. I need to use this more. If I were to go travelling, I would take this with me, but again, I haven't used it enough for me to say it's my number 1. That's why it's number 2, but it's gorgeous. Moving on to the last palette, my number 1, my little baby. If I had to get rid of like all of my palettes apart from 5, this would be one that I would 100% keep. If I was to go travelling, I would 100% take this with me. I just love it. And of course, it is the Soft Glam palette. Whenever I need a neutral look, whenever I need to go travelling, whenever I just want to feel glam, I will come to this palette. If I don't want to do colour, which is, you know, I love my colour, but I do love neutrals as well. If I'm wanting like a warm tone, neutral eye look, I will come to this palette because it's just gorgeous. Like, can we talk about the shades? I have a favourite eye look that I like to do with this palette, and I like to use burnt orange mixed in with orange soda, and then I'll sometimes go in with sienna depending, and then I'll go in with mulberry, which is the one above the black, and then I'll go ahead and put bronze all over the lid, and then a little bit of sultry on the outer corner, and then sometimes I'll put a little bit of fairy or glistening on the inner corner, and it is just amazing. The shades in here, like the mattes, this is one palette that I look at and I think I love every single shade in here. I actually love every single shade in here. There's a lot of palettes that I kind of look at and it's like, you know, like I like all the shades, but I don't really like these 2 or something like that. But this one, I just love every single shade. It is a warm toned lover's dream. If you love your warm toned browns, you will love this. Oh, it's just phenomenal. There's something about this palette and I just look at it and it just makes me happy, and this is why this is number 1. I have used it so many times. I will never get rid of this. I will never get rid of it. Unless it goes off, then I'll get rid of it and replace it. But yeah, this is a holy grail for me, 100%. Let me swatch some of the shades. I have a bit of a dent in bronze, fairy. Let me swatch a neutral to brown. I just feel like these are gorgeous. I just swatched the shades. The first shade is sienna, then the second shade is bronze, then the third shade is fairy, and then the last shade is sultry. These shades are so gorgeous, gorgeous. I love the colour story, just everything. Everything about this palette's amazing. And if you are a neutral lover, I highly recommend this. So that is all of my ABH palettes ranked. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which palette is your favourite from ABH and which one is your least favourite. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you did like this video and you do want to see another ranking video from me, like Jeffree Star or Morphe or Huda Beauty, then just let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up, leave a little comment. As always, I will leave my social channels up above me and also in the description box down below. I have just filmed this eye look that I have on my eyes right now, so if you do want to see that video, I will link it in the description box down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!